Hi everyone, my name is Holly. In today's video, you guys are going to really enjoy, I think. I have gotten a freaking truckload of book mail recently from publishers, which I am always grateful for, and I know how privileged that is. So if I have an arc to one of these finished copies, I always do giveaways for them on my Twitter, which there is currently right now, and I'll show you the book for it in a moment. But yeah, I think UPS just thinks I have some weird addiction to something because he's here almost every single day. Maybe he's watching right now. Sup. I always wonder if he gets curious enough to look at my name and why is this girl getting so much mail? And maybe he's a Holly Hearts Books fan now. I'd like to think that wholesome scenario exists. So subscribe to this channel like my UPS driver, you automatically become at least 30% cooler. It's a measurable fact. Before we dive into today's madness, let's give a big thank you to today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. They are an online learning community with thousands upon thousands of classes that touch upon all kinds of subjects, from art, creative writing tips, to how to create a YouTube channel, grow your own business if you have one. There's all kinds of stuff to dive into. And I was particularly interested in the YouTube channel aspect of things. Some of you noticed in my previous video that I've been experimenting with lighting, making things kind of colorful, cozy, dramatic, and I've truly learned a lot. I'll put it up on the screen now. There is a certain class I've been watching, and it's definitely been very helpful. So it's much cheaper than other courses and classes out there, especially since you get access to the entire library for that price. You can watch as much as you want, and the classes are broken down into individual lessons, so you can watch whenever to fit your own schedule. Plus, the first 1,000 people to use my link in the description box below will receive a free trial of Skillshare, so check that out. And thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so I don't even know where to begin. I have 3 boxes sitting in front of me. Now I have opened all 3 of them. I know what's inside, but it's just more exciting to kind of grab them out of the box that they came in. Maybe I should start with the books that I bought myself. I think that's a good starting point to kind of build up the excitement. Might as well just throw this big boy up on the screen. Rhythm of War. Do I really need to say much about this one? I have been collecting the series even though I haven't started the series yet. This is book 4 to the Stormlight Archive series. I've been slowly collecting them. I've been buying them used. I personally can't afford buying $30, $40 new books, so yes, I have been buying them used, and I am missing book 3, Oathbringer. Some of you have noticed on my bookshelves that it's missing, and I am on the search for it. Many of you are waiting for me to start the series, and I feel like it's always such a big event when someone starts it, and I'm just not ready for that kind of pressure, for that kind of commitment yet. There will definitely be a perfect time and place for me to start this one, maybe soon, maybe beginning of 2022. You know. Give me time. I mean, it truly is a beautiful book. The end papers. Ugh. I love how they just naturally illustrate these. The next 2 books are kind of a pair, and the first one is A Veil of Spears. This is the 3rd book in the Song of Shattered Sands series. You guys know I am doing my beautiful binge read of the series ever since starting The 12 Kings and Sharok High, which is a new favorite of mine. I read it at the beginning of July and absolutely fell in love with it, so I'm slowly collecting these beautiful hardcovers. They are a little bit harder to find, especially books 4 and 5 in these specific editions. By the time this video goes up, I should be in the middle of this one, and hopefully I'm absolutely loving it. And the next book kind of in this realm is the novella of Sand and Malice Made. This is a novella within that same universe. I believe it's a prequel, actually, so maybe I should have read this already, but one person told me they read it after book 1, and then another person said to read it after book 5, which is such a huge difference. So I have no idea what to do. I guess I could just read this whenever. By the way, getting this in the mail was kind of disappointing, only because of its size. This is the hardcover edition, but look at this. This is so disappointing. I got it thinking oh, it'll be the same size as these tall hardcovers. No. Not at all. Not even close. It's small paperback size, but it's hardcover. How could you do this? I guess it's very similar to Sharp Ends by Joe Abercrombie, which is a collection of short stories. It's this exact same size. Okay, so finally, let's dive into these boxes in front of me. Oh my goodness. I'm going to start with the books that Angry Robot sends me, one of my favorite publishers. I absolutely adore them. The first one is The Offset. Now, this is the proof copy, so the cover, the original cover looks so good. I love the design. Actually, I'll put a picture up of the cover, like the green and the yellow and the skull in the middle, I think. Good. It's so good. So this book releases on September 14th. It's a thriller dystopian. I had no idea what this book was until Angry Robot offered it up to me, and I was like, okay, like I kind of like this. So it says, on your 18th birthday, one of your parents must die and you must be the one to choose. And like, what a strange concept, but I love it and I'm here for it. Even though I don't read much thriller, I could definitely see myself giving this one a try. I will be giving it a try. It's also such a short book. The next book is one of my most anticipated releases, and that is The Maleficent 7. The reason why this is very exciting for me is because it's being compared to Kings of the Wild, and I actually didn't realize on the back that it says Kings of the Wild. I read the description and was like, this sounds like Kings of the Wild, and it's being compared to that, so I just know my books really well. This is an adult fantasy. It comes out in August, actually, and it's about a group of mercenaries who come together 30 years later after a failed mission. And it's also being mashed up with Suicide Squad, so I'm assuming a ton of action, some shenanigans happening with these characters. Apparently a lot of violence and bloodshed, totally on my alley. I mean, Suicide Squad, just like right here and up, I totally get those vibes. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one, and I really want to get to it soon. Oh yeah, and it's the same author who wrote The Traitor God, which was pretty popular when it came out, so he has a lot to live up to. I'll be honest, Orbit Books is the main publisher that is currently taking up this book haul, but we're going to move on to one more book before that huge massive stack. A finished copy of The Desert Prince. Yeah, this book is so beautiful. When I got the package in the mail, it was so heavy. I had no idea what it was going to be. And it ended up being this. It surprised the fork out of me. Okay, so now I definitely need to give you some close-ups because this book it's gorgeous, especially the spine. Look at the spine. It's so good. And I don't know, I have seen the UK cover as well, and I have such mixed feelings with both because I do like the UK cover a lot. But I still think I love this one more. I think it just has a lot of personality to it. I love this badass woman holding the sword. You get a little bit of a landscape in the background, which I love landscape covers. It just has so much going on for it. The design around the border. Okay, so anyways, this is set within the same world as the Demon Cycle series. It takes place 15 years later, I believe, following a whole new generation of heroes. You can go into this one without having read that previous series, but in my full opinion, I think I am going to go on to The Warden Man first, because someone told me there's just so much you miss out on. It kind of reminds me of people who go on to A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie before they go on to the First Law universe, and that is a big no-no for me. So I might do that. That might be my next series binge after the Song of Shattered Sands series, so I'm super hyped. But yeah, definitely look out for this one at your local bookstore or library. It's a gorgeous book. So thank you, Del Rey, for sending this over. Okay, so moving on to all the books that Orbit sent me, which I'm so grateful for. Orbit is literally my book daddy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The first book I'm going to show off is, they're all so pretty, but this one for some reason just calls to me so badly. I almost started reading it the moment it showed up on my doorstep, and that is Shards of Earth. This book is so beautiful in my opinion, especially this yellow spine, and I had to like shelve it into my bookshelves to see this yellow spine stand out. Clearly this is an adult sci-fi. I'm not sure if it's a space opera or not. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. About humanity on the brink of extinction and how one man's discovery will save or destroy everything. I love this like exploding planet. It almost looks like a plant. When this cover was first revealed on social media, I thought this was like some weird plant, but it's actually a planet. I always mention how this author is the Stephen King of sci-fi because of how much he puts out, and he put out this chunker recently. Like, are you serious? I just spent 5 minutes reading this. I gotta put it away. I gotta put it away. And then I have a finished copy of Wildwood Whispers. I'm actually reading this one this month, which I'm super hyped for, and I'm so grateful to have a finished copy. This just sounds like the perfect book to break up all of the grimdark epic fantasies I've been consuming lately. This sounds like a big word I've been using and what's been used to promote this book is cottagecore, kind of magical realism a little bit, possibly a murder mystery. It's about a woman whose friend passes away and she goes to the town where I'm assuming the friend lived, and she goes there to investigate, and apparently the darkness of the woods kind of consumes her as well or something. I don't know. It's a beautiful purple underneath. Literally all the authors who have blurbed the back are authors who've written like witchy books, so I'm assuming this has some witch vibes to it. I don't know, I'm excited to get to it, and I will give you my full review later in the month. And then I have a beautiful finished copy of The Pariah. I am doing a giveaway on my Twitter for the arc of this, so go there, enter it. Now I am almost finished with this one, and Anthony Ryan has my freaking heart, that's for sure. It is so good. I love his writing style. This is a thief assassin kind of revenge story. It's an adult fantasy, the first book in the Covenant of Steel. It comes out this month. This is what the finished copy looks like. The spine is really cool. It's also a thick boy. How many pages exactly? It is 560-ish. Oh, it's blurbed by John Gwynne. Well, John Gwynne fans, get on this because, I mean, we all know he's good. The next two books I have are a pair, and they are We Ride the Storm, which is book 1, and then I have We Cry for Blood, which is book 3. So I already own book 2. It's actually behind me on my bookshelves, on this shelf up here. And Orbit gave me the opportunity to own and read books 1 and 2, and I couldn't help but accept it. I desperately want to read this series. I think Devin Madsen is so cool. I'll hold it up like this, it's much easier. Plus, this is just so right up my alley. Apparently very, very bloody, kind of grimdark, I think. A lot of action-packed scenes. Also, these covers are so good. I want to see more covers like this with like the kind of pencil illustration. I mean, just look at that. And also the spine is so pretty. It looks really beautiful on the bookshelves. So many people talk about how amazing the series is, and so many people message me and are like, you really need to get on this. People are sleeping on the series. Even some Orbit editors on Twitter say that, so we need to hype these up. I need to get to them. This is a quartet, so there is one more, I believe, hopefully coming out next year. So right now would actually be a great time to start these. So this next book is absolutely insane. I had no idea it was coming. It was a huge surprise, and it's perfect timing too because of the read-along that I'm hosting, and that is The Fall of Babel. This comes out in freaking November. Why do I even have it in my hands? I don't know. I saw some fellow reviewers that I'm friends with also get it in the mail, and they were freaking out. I was freaking out. And I can't even, and it's such a tease because I can't even read it because then I would be breaking my read-along rules, so I just have to stare at it, unfortunately. But it's The Fall of Babel, the finale, the conclusion to the Books of Babel series, one of my all-time favorite series. And I have it in my hands. If you want to join the read-along, I highly recommend. I will link the video down below for you. You can join the Discord where everyone is actually freaking out over the first book. I thought for sure maybe some people would be like, Holly, this book sucks. But no, everyone is being really nice on there and giving their non-spoilery thoughts. I absolutely love going to that tab in my Discord. It's so fun to read everyone's reactions. But yeah, The Fall of Babel, I have it. If I do so happen to get the opportunity to own the finished copy, I will be doing a giveaway for this one because I think it would be perfect for the read-along. For those of you who finish it, you maybe can have this copy. And the final book I'll be talking about in this book haul is it's a big boy, and that is Legacy of Light. This is the final conclusion to the Legacy trilogy. All of these books are so beautiful on the bookshelf, and they are huge. I could have sworn this was like 1,000 pages. Maybe 900? It's almost 800 pages. This thing is thick. It's thick. This is 100% going to be a series binge for me. And I'm so mad at myself for not reading the first book, Legacy of Light, I think it's called. Yeah, oh, Legacy of Ash. This is Legacy of Light. Whoops. Someone who works at Orbit Books told me that I was going to love it because it's kind of a medieval kind of fantasy, and you know me. I host Medieval-a-thon. I think it's right up my alley, and I was just never able to get to it. But we are going to get to them now. Alrighty, so that is it for my very large and in charge book haul. Yeah, so many books came to my doorstep, and I'm so grateful for it. It's a huge privilege to get these books from publishers, and I'll never take it for granted. Again, go to my Twitter if you want to enter the Pariah giveaway open internationally. Tell me down below in the comments what books you have recently hauled. Have you got any ARCs from NetGalley? What books have you purchased? What books have you gotten from your library recently? I would love to know. Also, do not forget to check out Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to use my link down below will get a free trial for Skillshare, so be sure to check that out. Subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week. Like this video, it helps me out so much. And until we meet again, happy reading.